Doing the bridge intro. Bridge. Risen, shake at the sound of Jesus' name. Last time. Outro. Bridge 3. Lifted. He did it. He did it. Dance. Dance like the weight has been lifted. Moving to bridge 4. More height. Bridge 2, female soloist. Bridge 3. Bridge 4. Moving on to bridge 5. Ending. All right, and there we have it. Freedom, he did it. I played around with it a little bit, changed it a little bit from the exact chord sheet. Let's go through this. Let's start on the intro. We're going to look at this electric guitar intro, which begins on E minor on your left hand. Right hand would be, so hit these together. B, D, E, E, G, G. Bum, 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 bum. And then moves to C in the left hand. Right hand is B, D, 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 C, B. And then the right hand repeats, but this time the left hand goes down to the G. And then same thing, right hand repeats again the previous second portion, but the left hand goes to B. So, long story short, the right hand is repeating two sections back, over and over again. And then you come into this E minor chord. So, step out of the shadows, step out of the grave. Alright, so what I'll play there is I usually come in on this E minor 7 like this. Basically a G, just an inversion of G in the right hand. Left hand is on your E. Step out of the shadows. C. Except I'll play a G in my right hand. So you're going to see a lot of this. Let's just cover it now. You're going to see a lot of this position on this song. Like playing your G chord like this. Playing it over the key of C, basically making like a C major 7 kind of out of it. Playing your D positions like this, your E minor positions like this. So I'm kind of keeping everything here close on this song. I just like the way it sounds. I think it's pretty. So step out of the shadows. Step out. So that C is C in the left hand, D, G, D in the right hand. Step out of the grave. And then all I do is move on the G. Obviously I go down the G in the left hand, but the right hand I add the B in. And then for my D over B, my left hand's going to B, but my right hand's playing my D major octave right here. So I'm already here, so all I have to do is drop right there, like that. So hopefully that makes sense. So step out of the shadows, step out of the grave. And don't be afraid. So D sus. I'm just, playing the same position I did for my previous D chord. Just, making it a sus. So D, G, A, D. So, step out of the shadows, step out of the grave, step into the wild, then don't be afraid. And then your run into, drop your left hand way down. So what's happening here is I'm staying on that G chord right here because it's a G over B. I'm already here. I was just here. So all I got to do is come back to here. See how close that is? So 1, 2, and then for that C, I just let off of the B right there. Same way I played the C earlier, okay? So I know this is a little different, but if you hang with it and you get used to playing this kind of voicing, it's pretty. So run into, B in the left hand octave down low, and then D, G, B, D in the right hand, 1, 2, and then land on C in the left hand, D, G, D in the right hand. Same way as before. So run into wide open spaces. Keep your right hand the same, okay? Move your left hand to E for the E minor. D the same way as before. All right. So you can see how we're gonna keeping this all together. Run into wide open spaces. Grace is waiting for you. Has been lifted. Grace is waiting. Now, when we move on to the chorus here, what I like to do is where the Spirit. I like to hold on where the Spirit. Where the Spirit of the Lord is. I like to hold these chords out, okay? Same exact chords we've been doing, okay? Come out of the dark. So once you know these chords one time, you know them every time. So that's kind of why I'm not repeating every single one showing you. So where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. There is freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. There is freedom. Come out of the dark, just as you are, into the fullness of His love. For the Spirit is here. Let there be freedom. Let there be freedom. So then we move into the intro again right here, which I won't play for you again. You already know it. So just know that when we end, let there be freedom. So it kind of ends right off of the singers are still singing freedom when you start it. So just be aware of that. Verse 2 is the same as verse 1. Bring all of your burdens. Bring all of your scars. Come back to communion. Come back to the start. Same chords. Pre-chorus the same again. Into wide open spaces. Grace is waiting for you. Dance like the weight is. This time on the chorus, however, we're going to play it through, okay? We're going to, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. There is freedom. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. There is freedom. Come out of the dark, just as you are, into the fullness of His love. For the Spirit is here, let there be So I'm kind of playing this bump, 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 bump. That's kind of the tempo I have in my head, where the spirit of the Lord. You know, your drums are going to drive it, and your bass and your guitar and stuff are going to drive it, so you don't have to do a lot there. So coming out of the chorus into the bridge, for the Spirit is here, let there be freedom, let there be freedom. Bridge intro, E minor, D. So you're just playing the chords on that bridge intro, E minor, D, G over B, twice, C, E minor, D. And that little thing I'm doing in there is E and A to D and G. So if you want to throw that in there. And then it moves on to Chains Will Fall. And so this is really the same as we've been doing. You know, chains will fall, prison shake at the sound of Jesus' name. You can drive your left hand if you want. Lives made whole, hearts awake at the sound of Jesus' name. And you just playing that 3 times through, soloist parts, flip parts, you know. And then you get to the outro, which is going to be your intro again, except the only thing that's different is the left hand never moves from E. So you're going. And then you do that walk up, okay? So you're playing your E minor, sort of like how we first played our E minor when we first came into the song. Ba, E minor. So D over F sharp. So F sharp in the left hand. In the right hand you got A, D, F sharp, and A. So this is a voicing of D that I really like. I like to, if you haven't noticed, I like to octave the 5th of my chords and then add the 1 and 3 in the middle. It's just a voicing that I like. I think it's beautiful. So E minor, D over F sharp, G. Go right back to the same chord you were just in, except you're walking in your left hand. Play it again in your right hand. So, and then you're going to end on your C. So your right hand looks like this. And then you're already on the first chord of the chorus, which is where the Spirit of the Lord is. Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. So I don't need to play that chorus for you again. You already know it. So let's go down. You already know this section. Let's get down to these parts are all the same. Really, the only part that's going to change is when you get to bridge 4. So you're going to go, shout like the chains have been broken. He did it. He did it. Shout like the chains have been broken. He did it. He did it. So you're doing, you already know this part, G over B to C. Then D to E minor. So your right hand is going to drop to this D chord, so D major with the octave on the top, D in the left hand, and then you're playing that G inversion with the D on top over E on the left hand. So it's technically an E minor, but no, I don't play the straight E minor like this. I like to spread it out a little bit. So those are your 4 chords. Shout like the chains have been broken. He did it. He did it. And then you do the quick D over F sharp to G. So shout like the chains have been broken. He did it. He did it. Bum, bum. Doing this over and over again. And then when you move on to bridge 5, right, it changes a little bit again. So that's looking like this. So your left hand, so the chords are technically G over B, C, G over D. So your left hand is gonna do, okay, ba 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 B C D, and your right hand is gonna play a G major with the octave on top, G B D G, except you're gonna roll this B flat into your B. And if you want to get fancy and add the thumb on the F sharp there, or excuse me, on the F to make it a G7, you can. I mean, it's going to sound better, but it's not necessary. First chord looks like this. Then your right hand's going to move to a G sus with the octave on top, so G, C, D, G. Left hand's on C. So far we have and then for your right hand, all you got to do is let off this. Let off the C, and you're just going to play that G5 like that. Boom. So it's going to, and then your left hand goes to the D. So slow down and goes 1, 2, ready, and let me slow it a little further. And this is just a very simple way to play. There's a lot of ways you could do it. When I do it, I do a little something like, just some kind of variation of that. And all I'm doing is so G octave in the right hand, and then in my left hand I'm hitting the D and the E, rocking back and forth. Bum, 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 bum. So let me start the loop again with that so you can hear that in timing, what that sounds like. So the other thing that I'm doing there is hitting that diminished and then resolving up onto the G. So I do it different every single time. You know, honestly, I'm not doing it only one way every single time. I'm changing it up. But that diminished chord, in case you want to do it, is G, B flat, C sharp, and E. And then resolve it up to your G major octave. I roll. Bum, 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 bum. G, 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 D, E. G, 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 D, E. That'd be a good way to do it exact. So that's really what I'm doing. And then when this moves down to bridge 5, which is the He Did It cuts, this is the chord you're playing. So you've got an F major in your right hand, and you're adding the 9. So you got to stretch a little bit there. It's a little bit over an octave. Instead of playing your F major octave, you just bring that pinky up to the G, over the G in the left hand. So he did it, he did it, he did it. Praise like the weight has been, and you go right back into bridge 2 with a different soloist, and then everything repeats again exactly like it did the last time. You're repeating every single part just like you just did. The only difference is this time, after you do the he did it, this is the ending. He did it, he did it. Then it ends like this. It goes so all that is same kind of rolly G, rolling from that minor to major. Left hand G, D, right hand G, roll into the B, D, G. F, just an inversion of F up here. So left hand F and C, right hand A, C, F. E minor 7, so E and B in the left hand, G, C, G in the right hand. And then B flat, so, and how I kind of voice this is B flat, F in the left hand, and then G, D, G in the right hand. So sort of like a G5 over a B flat. So you put it together, it goes. Doing this 4 times. So what you can do in your right hand is, in between those, play on the blues scale. So I don't do anything exact. I play with it, get creative. The blues scale there is G, F. This is walking down. G, F, D, C sharp, C, B flat, G. I just kind of roll it up, F, G, and then start it back down. And then let the drums roll, and then end on that F7 over G. Same chord as you were doing on He Did It. Just end right there. And that's it, guys. So I hope this helps you. I hope you've enjoyed this, and get to practicing.